What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Week 9 NFL Picks. We're back here with Gledhill. Go ahead and say what's up.
Yo, it's good.
So, what a crazy week we just had. I fell down to about, let's see, seventh place, but I'm tied with Joel. Preston's in ninth place. Kyle, Gage, Taylor, all tied for third. Gledhill, you're back in second. Um, and then Cade is 4 games ahead. He's pulling away a little bit. So, it's
Damn, dude. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, Cade, congratulations to him because he went a perfect 15-0 this week, which was kind of insane. That's
Really?
I think that's the first time ever in picks since the 3 years we've been doing this that someone went perfect. So that's something to be
Yeah.
crazy about. Uh, so pardon me for talking a little bit low. I got someone sleeping over there, so I got to keep it kind of down. But let's just go ahead and roll through these games. Not really much more. We don't have that much of a squad this week, but we'll just go ahead and get through these games. So starting off, we have tonight, which is actually going on right now. Fortunately, the way the
We
time
all picked the
frame,
Niners. So yeah, let's kind of go. Let's go past that one because it's.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, we got the 49ers. Not really
Let's
much.
go. Let's do the Sunday one.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. And Kyler's playing well right now. Kyler's been killing. I think this whole Kingsbury Kyler Murray thing is starting to really work, and we're seeing Kyler play well. But yeah, I this is really a no brainer for me. The 49ers are on another level right now. I think they were a little bit of a sleeper coming into the season. No one was really talking about them a whole lot, but they've been so great. Their run game's been awesome. Um, just they've been able to score points, and then defensively they've just been off the charts, and just an awesome team right now. I don't know if it's see how that plays out. But yeah, no question here. That I had them winning I had them beating the Cardinals by about 10 to 15 points. I don't remember exactly what my score was, but it was
Yeah,
so.
but not really much more. Not really much more to say. I have the 49ers. I had them winning this game pretty easily. Defense has been playing too well. Jimmy G is doing enough. Um, Cardinals have been in it. They're pretty sure they won 2 or 3 straight before they lost to the Saints last week. So they've been picking it up, like you said, like what they're doing in there with Kingsbury and Murray, kind of getting the offense going there. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, not really much more to say. I had the Cardinals winning or the 49ers winning by like 10. So yeah, next game we have the first Sunday game. It's actually a 9:30 game, so set your fantasy lineups accordingly. We have the Houston
You're up.
Texans. Houston Texans playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm pretty sure this game is in London. Jaguars always have a bunch of London games every year. Deshaun Watson is actually 3-0 career record versus the Jaguars. But in this game, it's not really a home field problem for the Texans, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans. As far as the spread goes, they are actually the Texans. I think are a 1.5 point favorite, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1.5 point favorite. Um, I think they cover it. I think they're going to win by probably about a touchdown or so. I'm going to say 27-20. Don't think it's going to be anything special of a game. Kind of a mid-scoring game. I just think they have more weapons offensively than the Jaguars do. I know Minshew's been balling out. The defense has been playing really solid. But overall, I think the Texans are just a much more complete team at this point in the season. And I think they'll
Yep.
find a way to win. It sucks for J.J. Watt being out for the season now with torn pectoral. But they got to move on without him, and that defense is kind of sus. So I think the run game will be pretty suitable for the Jaguars this game. But I think the Texans get a pretty close one, 27-20. Who do you got?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I kind of went back and forth. I like that Jaguars defense a lot, and obviously Gardner Minshew is coming off a great game, albeit was against the New York Jets. Um, but he's playing well. I think he adds energy and life to that team because they were pretty lifeless last year, which was they're kind of hung over from the AFC Championship game a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of life there. Um, and Gardner Minshew has just been great for them, and Doug Marone's going to have a decision to make coming up. When Nick Foles kind of gets healthy, you got to keep rolling with Minshew the way he's been playing, the way the offense is kind of clicking right now. But definitely a decision to make there because Nick Foles is, he has proven to be pretty good. Um, as for this game specifically, yeah, I mean both teams are right there. I mean if the Jaguars win this game, then they'll both have the same record, and that AFC South is obviously, the Titans are kind of right there too. They're I think they're 4-4, aren't they?
Yeah, the
So
Colts
a
are
lot of
winning. The
teams
Colts are
are
winning though
right
with 5 and
there.
2.
Right, the Colts are winning the division, but they're all four of them are kind of right there. So maybe a lot of implications. Big game for the Jaguars, but I'm actually going to have to agree with you on this one and take the Texans. Um, I think maybe offensively they're on a little bit higher of a level with Deshaun Watson and then Carlos Hyde in their run game. Their offensive line's been playing better. Watson got sacked a few times last week against the Raiders, but he was still able to make some miraculous plays. And their offensive line has been getting better. He has been getting sacked less than he was at the beginning of the season, which is obviously huge for him and his health. Because we don't want to see an Andrew Luck situation with a guy like Deshaun Watson. I mean, Gruden called him Michael Jordan. I mean, we want to see this guy play for a long time. I mean,
Right.
We'll see what that defense looks like. But I think they're good enough. But I think this week, I think Watson makes some big plays, and both teams are going to score some points, but Texans pull it out. I'm going to say like 30-27, somewhere in that range.
Very nice. Next game, we have the Washington Redskins going on the road to play the Buffalo Bills. 12 o'clock game. The Bills Mafia coming off of a really tough loss against the Eagles. They kind of got exposed there a little bit, especially defensively and offensively, or mostly offensively. But I just think that was more of a desperate game for the Eagles. I just think they really needed that game to stay in live, just in the season in general. You can't go into that game being 3-5 in panic mode. So you had to win that game, and they did. They showcased it. They ran the ball really well against the Bills defense, which I was really surprised with. Now Buffalo has a chance to bounce back at home again against they stay home. They play the Redskins. I don't think they'll have much more problem doing that. They're 9.5-point favorite. I think. I honestly think it'll be more of a blowout, if I'm being honest. I have the Bills winning. I don't have this game being really high scoring. I think the Bills will win probably like 24-10, 24-13 type game, which I guess that kind of would. I mean, it's a little bit over the spread, but it's still kind of a blowout. I think Josh Allen will have a bounce back game. They got to use him more a little bit on the passing game. Devin Singletary's balling out. Frank Gore's been doing his thing at age 36, which is insane. I think he's like 4th all time now in rushing, which is absolutely crazy. So Bills get this one done pretty easily, bounce back at home. Washington's a train wreck, and yeah, not much more to say. Buffalo wins 24-13.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I mean, you said it all. I don't think the Bills are legit contenders. I will say that. I think they might be a wild card team. Obviously, they're not getting past the Patriots, but
yeah.
I think they might be a wild card team there in the AFC. But as for Super Bowl or even contenders make the AFC Championship, I just don't see it, unfortunately. I just don't think their offense is good enough. Very physical team. They play hard. I think they're very well coached, but I don't know how things are going to fare for them in the playoffs. But as for this game against the Redskins, yeah, they're going to bounce back from the game against the Eagles. They're going to beat a team that's obviously struggling right now. And if the Bills, they say they're legit. I think you got to get this one done, and they're going to. So Bills win like 20-10 or something. Not a super fun game to watch, but they get it done.
Yeah, and my teammate / roommate is a Bills fan, and he said that they are winning the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
All right,
Stampede's coming. We'll see. All right, so that's that. Next game, we have the Tennessee Titans going on the road to play the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers a 4.5-point favorite. Tennessee actually having some life in that division, like you said earlier. 4-4 now with.
Yep.
Ryan Tannehill, or they won 2 straight now, beating the Chargers.
Tannehill's been playing well too, the last couple games at least.
Yeah, for sure.
A little more life.
Yeah. So Ryan Tannehill, Marcus Mariota is now on the bench. Ryan Tannehill comes in, wins them 2 straight. They're playing a Carolina team who literally just got pummeled by the freaking what's it called? The 49ers, which
Niners.
I'm so dumb. I told Gage brainwashed me last week into picking the Carolina Panthers. I shouldn't have done it. I knew deep down that the 49ers were going to win that game.
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake. I should have known Kyle Allen wasn't going to be perfect, especially against a legit 49ers team. So,
Yeah.
dumb decision on my part, never doing that again. However, I'm interested to see who you have in this game. Who do you have, Gledhill? I'll let you pick this game first.
I'll go first. This was another very tough one for me. I think this might be one of our better games of the week. Really excited to see how this one plays out. It's interesting because both teams are having offensive line troubles, and both teams also have a really really good pass rush. So they're kind of both going to be maybe both quarterbacks might be struggling a little bit here. And I don't know who to trust because I don't know. I haven't seen a ton from Kyle Allen yet. He's been, okay. He's been serviceable. Tannehill's maybe a little bit of a hotter hand at this moment. But, both of these quarterbacks, I don't know if they're the future of these teams, obviously. I don't know. This was a toss-up for me. But Panthers are at home. They just got blown out. I have a feeling that they're going to bounce back and get the win in this one, in a very close one. Gut feeling on this one. Panthers win 27-26.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, but it's a toss up game for me, especially with the way Carolina played last week. But I just think they got humbled a little bit, especially with how good they were playing. I just think this defense is actually really underrated, and I like what they're doing up there. They are kind of sus on the run defense, like they're giving up 135 yards per game average, which is not very good. So I think Derrick Henry's actually gonna have a pretty decent game. And I think that'll allow Tannehill to mix up the passing game a little bit. So I do think that Tennessee will actually be leading this game a couple times, but I think Carolina will make a pretty big comeback in the end, and I have them hitting a game-winning touchdown. So I'm going to say that they win in a more better game of this week. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring, fun one. So I'm going to say the Panthers win 31-24. Be a good one.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Next game. We have the Chicago Bears going on the road to play the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles coming off, like I said, big win over the Buffalo Bills, which is a much-needed win that they need. They actually look like a great team this past week. And Chicago on the other hand, Mike Nagy, man, he ruined that whole game versus the Chargers, man. He had 40 seconds to get in. Literally, they were in field goal range. That wasn't the problem. They had 40 seconds. They were driving the ball, and they take a knee, and they settle for a field goal, 41-yard field goal, wide left, completely miss it. That's all on his fault because you literally cannot rely on your kicker, especially with what you saw last year in the playoffs and what you saw, earlier in the game. He missed a 38-yarder. So what makes you think he was going to make a 41-yarder? That's what I don't understand. He finally got David Montgomery good in the run game, which is very desperately needed. He's a really good player, and he's finally showcasing why, because Nagy's actually using him. I'm not a big fan of Matt Nagy at all. Or Mike Nagy, whatever his name is. I'm not a big fan of him at all. I don't think he's a good coach. A lot of people say he carried Trubisky to the playoffs last year. I think the defense carried them, if anything. Not like it was going. Chicago's.
But Nagy's a defensive mind, right? Nagy's more of a defensive coach, isn't he?
Yeah, but they're not playing like even this year. They're not even playing that good. So, I think it all comes down to Nagy.
And I think part of that is their defense. Their offense hasn't been scoring points, and when you're on the defensive side, just knowing that your offense is absolute trash, it's hard. It's so hard to play defense behind that. So I think there's something psychological there that's going on.
Yeah, and this
it's so much easier to play defense when you got Tom Brady as your quarterback. I feel like.
Yeah, and this game is in Philadelphia. I can't pick against the Bears. I picked them pretty sure they picked them the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they let me down all time. So, yeah,
you're picking them again.
I'm not picking them this week. I'm picking the Eagles. I think Eagles look more promising right now. They're a 5.5-point favorite. I think they'll win a close one. I think the Eagles will win by 3. I think they'll win by field goal or so. This game's gonna be boring, low scoring. 2017. Eagles get it done at home. Bears stay in it with their defense and the running game, but overall, and maybe even the passing game, they'll do pretty good just because Philly's secondary is probably the worst in the league. So I do think that Chicago will cover the spread. However, I think Philadelphia pulls it out, and I just can't pick the Bears right now. So I'm going to say Eagles win 2017.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I actually had the same score, 20-17. Philadelphia gets the win in this one. Um, yeah, I think it was really good for the Bears. They got Montgomery going. I think it was really good for their offense. Big win for Philly last week. They have a really good pass rush, so I mean, we'll see. I don't know if Trubisky's going to fare too well now, especially with his struggles of late. I think this might be the game where you know, and Matt Nagy still said that, yeah, Trubisky's my guy. He's still our starter, but maybe things change a little bit this week. I think people have been chirping, but I think that the chirps are going to intensify this week. I think he's going to struggle, and it's still going to be a close game because I don't think the Eagles are complete right now. I think they're still, but they are. I think as a whole, the Eagles are more confident at the moment. I think coming off that win in Buffalo was huge for them. Now they have an opportunity to go to 5-4. This is a huge win for them because their schedule down the road is actually pretty favorable. They got a lot of winnable games coming up, so if they want to maybe take control of the division or something, this would be a good week to get a win. I think the Cowboys are certainly going to beat the Giants, so they improved to 5-3. Philly would be 5-4 with the win here, so I think they really need it. Big game, they get it done somehow. The Eagles are going to win this game.
Very, very nice. Like it. All right, next game. We have the Minnesota Vikings going on the road to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, even without Patrick Mahomes, a lot of people counted him out to get blown out by the Packers. But, we all know how hard it is to win games in Arrowhead. And, Matt Moore did really good, and they almost beat the Packers. They were in it the whole game, and they lost by a touchdown. So I was really impressed with how they stayed in it. Patrick Mahomes, there's an update on him. He's limited in today's practice, but they haven't ruled him out yet. I think he's a 50-50. It's questionable if he's playing or not. That really does make it hard for me to pick this game, especially since the Chiefs are still favorite. So what that tells me is that Patrick Mahomes might be playing this week. But, man, I don't know who to pick. The Vikings have been playing.
Dislocated foot or something, right?
It was his knee.
Yeah.
It was his knee. So I've picked against the Vikings like every single week. Bro.
Kirk's been playing better.
And Kirk has been playing really well. So, oh man, this game is actually very hard to pick.
Too, man. I think Dalvin Cook's gonna run all over them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Vikings on this one. It's a risk, but I like the good football they're playing. I've been picking against them the past few weeks, and they keep proving me wrong. So the Vikings are gonna give the Packers a run for their money in this division. If Kirk Cousins can actually play the way he's been playing right now, even with Patrick Mahomes there, I still feel like the Vikings can win this game with the run game. The Chiefs are sus against the run too. Giving up 145 yards per game. So I think Dalvin Cook will feast this game. And I'll allow Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs to mix it up. I think Adam Thielen's coming back this week too. He would miss last game against the Redskins. So I think it's going to be a big, big win for the Vikings. It's going to be a shootout, I think. But I think overall, I can't believe it, but I'm taking Kirk Cousins and the Vikings to win a close one, 35-34.
The Vikings, man, they really got a shot in this division, as you said. Especially, I think the Lions. I don't think the Lions have a chance in this division anymore. Personally, it's tough, but their defense has been struggling a lot. I remember I said earlier that their defense is very underrated. They haven't played well lately. We'll see how they fare in that Raiders game this week. We'll pick that one later, but. Again, that was another tough one for me to pick, Lions-Raiders, but we'll get to that one. Anyways, for this one right here, Vikings-Chiefs. Kirk's been playing better. Dalvin's still Dalvin. He got some good weapons. Adam Thielen, though, I think he's out, right?
He is. He is officially out.
Or something.
I didn't hear an update on if he
I
was.
don't know,
I thought he was playing, but
but I like that defense. Since the Chiefs don't have a great defense, and they're missing guys. They're missing Chris Jones and Frank Clark, or whatever his name is, on the defensive line. So that's not good. Um, yeah, I think this is a big. I think the Vikings are going to get a big win here. I think I agree. I picked them. Um, I think it's going to be 36-31.
all right. So they would indeed beat the spread because they're 2.5 point favorites, or so they would
Yeah.
break the spread even more. So that's that. Um, here we go. Next game, AIDS game of the week. New York Jets at Miami Dolphins. Golly, Gladhill, you can go ahead and pick this game. I mean, I think this one's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to take the Jets in this one. I mean, I don't know. It's just Dolphins are tanking. I mean, you saw it on the whatever that had a play right before the half last week, or whatever that play was, where it was like 3rd and 20 or something, or they had like a few seconds left in the half, and they threw it underneath, and the guy scored a touchdown. I don't remember exactly the situation, but just horrible defensive call. Like if I were tanking personally, that's a play I would call. So it's just I don't know. Maybe maybe it's true, but yeah, I'm just gonna take the Jets and Sam Darnold. I don't really know. They're gonna win. I guess I don't know, like 20-13 or something. Horrible game. I don't. I'm not watching this one.
Yeah, horrible game. I'll take the Jets 17-14. The spread's 3. I'll give it 3. Whatever. Move on. Miami sucks. They're tanking, and New York Jets aren't good either. But yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Next, don't need to waste any more time. Next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts going on the road to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts are favorite 1.5 on the road. So the Colts
Only one.
only 1.5. Only 1.5. The Colts looked really sus against the Dolphins in that first half on Monday night. I didn't watch it, but we all, like Gledhill said, you can tell that the Dolphins were tanking. So I mean, realistically, they probably could have won that game, but they didn't. So, and at the end of the day, they're still the Dolphins. This one's honest, not that big of a deal for me. I think Pittsburgh will stay in it, but I think the Colts are going to win a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 24-17. I think they'll win by a touchdown. I think they're just a better team, even on the road. And I mean, it's kind of hard to play in Pittsburgh with the cold weather and everything. And Indianapolis for 8 games they play in the dome, so the weather could be a big factor here. But I think Pittsburgh will get. I think Pittsburgh will stay in it, but I think Colts will. Jacoby Brissett's been playing really good. T.Y. Hilton's finally back and going. Marlon Mack good in the run game. Defense, they were kind of banged up earlier, but they got some key pieces back. So this is not really that hard for me to pick. I think it'll be close. I think Pittsburgh will stay in it, but I got the Colts winning in the end, 24-17.
Yeah, you said it, man. I mean, I don't know how things fare for the Colts in the long run in terms of the playoff race, especially being in that loaded division. If you want to have any chance to get out of that division, win it, you got to take care of games like this. Against a very depleted Steelers team, backup quarterback. I don't think Mason Rudolph's the future of this team. Unfortunately, I love the dude. Even though I go to OU, I've always kind of been a fan of Mason Rudolph, just the kind of guy he is. But unfortunately, I don't think he's the future of this team. Yeah, if you're the Colts, you gotta take care of this one, and I think they will. They'll get it done, even though they're on the road, like 23-14 or something. Not a crazy game, but they'll get it done.
All right, so not much more to say there. Oh, and one thing I also do want to mention. The Steelers have won 5 straight wins versus Indy, 15.8 margin of victory. So they're known for blowing them out, but obviously like Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell with their old
Yeah.
team. So this is a whole different scenario in that situation. That is that. And so yeah, so the next game we have the Detroit Lions going on the road to play the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders have allowed 8 passing touchdowns in the last 2 games, which is not very good, and we all know how Matthew Stafford is, especially at the end of the game. He likes throwing those late touchdowns to even if it's garbage time or not. This is a tough one. Oakland is 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah,
Uh, it's a trap game for Detroit, but who do you have pulling out in the end?
this was a tough one for me. I think first of all, I think this game has the potential of being the highest scoring game of the week. Um, I like the Raiders' offense, man. I really do. With Josh Jacobs running the ball, he's been doing well, and then Derek Carr throwing it. Um, I don't know. I kind of like their offense. I like Detroit's offense too, even though they haven't had an amazing run game this season. Matthew Stafford's been playing really well, but both defenses, man. I thought Detroit's is playing well at the beginning of the season. They're not playing well lately, and it's tough because Matt Patricia's a defensive coach, so I don't know what the problem is there. I haven't really looked into the Lions too much, but there's something going on. And then with the Raiders, you said it, eight passing touchdowns in the last two games. Um, Definitely not great. Yeah, a lot of points scored in this game, but gosh, uh, my gut's telling me that the Raiders are going to pull it out at home, uh, 34-31. Yeah, taking Raiders.
Hmm.
I don't feel too confident about that one though. I will say I could
So
I
you
wouldn't be
have this
surprised if they
one
get that wrong.
like a higher scoring game.
Yeah,
That's fair. You know what?
definitely.
I think John Gruden's going to pull something out of his butt in this one. I think the Oakland Raiders will win as well. It's a tough
Yep.
game. The Oakland Raiders are actually favorite. This is a toss up. I feel like both of these teams are kind of like around the same level. I mean, especially
Yeah,
Detroit, just, they're kind of most likely out of the division, especially with this loss. Um,
and the Vikings playing well. Yeah.
and the Vikings and Packers are playing just too well. Um, yeah, it's a toss up, but I like the Raiders in this game. I think they'll establish the run pretty early, and I think they'll win.
Yep.
I say they win 28-24. So
Okay.
they'll still be kind of a
Sweet.
closer game, more better games of the week. So, and that'll be a 4:05 game as well. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road to play the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle's a 6.5 point favorite. Buccaneers are 31.8 points per game since week 3, most in the NFL, surprisingly, especially when you have a team that is 2-5 right now. So, I mean, they put up
Yeah.
points. There's no doubt about it, but they
They
can't.
do, and they also have a decently good pass rush.
Yeah, they do. They have a really good pass rush, but their secondary is eh. So,
It is. Yeah.
um, that kind of leads me to picking the Seahawks. I think they'll bounce back at home. Um, you know, Seattle just I think a much more favorable matchup against this team. They kind of shit the bed a couple weeks ago against the Ravens. The Ravens went in there and stunned them. So that was interesting there. Seattle. Who did Seattle? Oh, Seattle beat the Falcons. They were kind of sus that game against the Falcons. They were up 24 to like 0 at halftime or something like that. And then the Falcons, the backup, who's even the backup quarterback for the Falcons right now?
Oh goodness, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And he went in there and he almost single-handedly brought him back. It could be a little bit of Seattle letting up, but overall it got close for a second. Seattle only won by a touchdown, which I thought they were going to blow them out. So in this game, I have Jameis Winston just completely getting shut down. I think Seattle will be all over him. I think the pass rush will get to Russell Wilson a little bit, but anytime you have a good pass rush against a mobile quarterback like Russell Wilson, I think he'll make you pay for it in the secondary. And what a just a duo between him and Tyler Lockett. They're clicking on all cylinders right now. Tyler Lockett's one of the more underrated receivers in the league, and Russell Wilson's on his way to getting the MVP. So,
Yep.
just playing out of his mind. It'd be dumb for me to pick the Buccaneers this game. I think Seahawks win pretty easily. I say the Seahawks win 28-14.
Yeah, I gotta agree again. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I thought about this one, and I was like, well, do I see Jameis Winston going into Seattle and out dueling Russell Wilson and being the man and getting it done? Um, I don't see it at all. I mean, I think the Seahawks are going to score some points. So that means the Buccaneers are going to have to score some points as well, which means Jameis is going to make some plays. I think he may make a couple. I don't think he's going to make enough. Yeah, Seahawks are going to get it done. It's going to be like 28 to 17, somewhere in that range. But yeah, the Seahawks win. Yeah.
Very nice. Next game. Ooh, this one could also be a tough game to pick. Not because they're good teams, but just because you don't know who would win. But we have Cleveland Browns going on the road to play the Denver Broncos. Cleveland is a 3.5 point favorite. Um, yeah, who do you got in this game, Gledhill? Oh, also, in this game, Broncos have won 11 of the last 12 games versus the Browns. They had a big win streak versus the Browns, like dating back since like 1990 something. But that
Yeah.
ended last year when the Browns went in there and they beat them in a really close game. So they're playing in Denver again. This Browns team is obviously kind of more sus right now, believe it or not, even with the weapons that they have. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm interested to see who you got in this game.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna be rooting for the Browns. I want to see Baker have a big game in Denver. And you know what? Screw it. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna have a big game. I think the Browns are gonna get done. I Yeah, I think Baker's one of those dudes where he just stormed out of that press conference this weekend. He's one of those guys where like when there's a lot of noise surrounding him, when a lot of people are saying bad things about him, I think he might rise and maybe shut people up. He has done that before, I feel like, and you know what? I think he's going to do it this week. But at the same time, I could easily see him folding this week as well. But no, I think he's going to rise. I think he's going to have a big week. Rooting for him. I really hope the Browns get it done. And I think they will. You know what? They're going to win it 26-23. Close game. Game-winning field goal in the last second. They get it done.
I really do want to pick the Broncos, especially since I say it every week. It's hard to win Mile High. But something tells me that the Browns are going to bounce back this week, and Brandon Allen starting at the quarterback position because Joe Flacco's now hurt. I know Joe Flacco's ass anyways, but NFL debut, pressure's on him. I don't see him beating the Browns, even though the Browns are set. I think the Browns will actually have a bounce back game. Um, you know, Broncos are just kind of a mess, anyways, even though they kind of been able to put some things together here in the last recent week or so. Um, they almost beat the Colts, on the road. So,
Yep.
um, it's a tough one, but I think I like Cleveland in this game. I think they're going to come out gunslinging pretty early, and I really do think Nick Chubb will have a good game. And please, Baker, don't ruin this game for me because I'm counting on you this game. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Broncos in a lower scoring 24-20 game. So yeah, I got
Yeah,
the
you're right. Nick Chubb might be the best. Is probably the best player on that offense right now.
yeah.
So if they can get him going, then I think there's no doubt in my mind they win. They got to get Nick Chubb going though.
Yeah, and pardon me, I said Broncos 24-20. I meant Browns 24-20.
Browns.
Yeah. All right.
Three.
Awesome. Next game, we have the Green Bay Packers going on the road to play the LA Chargers. Chargers have 7 1-possession games this season, the most in the NFL. Oh man, the Chargers have just been one of the most disappointing teams this year. They should have lost to the Bears, but they somehow squeaked that one on because of the kicker. Chargers are just a mess, man. Packers are playing too well right now to drop this game. I don't see it happening at all. I This is honestly a pretty easy game for me. I think Aaron Rodgers will go in there. He's going to kill them. Oh man, this one's gonna get. I can see this one getting ugly. The Chargers are 3.5, or I think the Packers are 3.5 point favorite. I think that's kind of disrespectful if you ask me. I think it's gonna be more of a blowout. One-sided. I think the Packers win an easy one, 31-16.
Yeah, I can see something similar. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the season. Maybe that defense was, needed a little bit more. The Packers have learned not to, and I know Coward talked a lot about this, and I thought he made some great points. He's like the Packers maybe in years past relied a little bit too much on Aaron Rodgers, and maybe didn't focus as much as building a really good defense around him. But I think Aaron Rodgers, he's gotten a little bit older, maybe a little bit more limited. He's not going to be maybe as consistent. Over the last couple of years, they've done a really good job building that defense up. Got a good running back in Aaron Jones. They always seem to have a pretty good offensive line, good weapons too. And now Aaron Rodgers has gotten rolling. So this team is so dangerous. They're easily the favorites to win the NFC North, and they're definitely a front runner in the NFC as a whole. Got a lot of teams right up there. They're definitely with all of them. And yeah, they're playing too well to lose this game to the Chargers, who have been having some issues. Again, don't know how they won that game last week. There was a moment during the game where Philip Rivers and Anthony Lynn, he's kind of getting into it with Anthony Lynn a little bit. So I think there maybe are some tensions there in that locker room, possibly. This is a team that was, doing really well last year. I mean, this last year was basically Philip Rivers' chance. Like, he had, never been to a Super Bowl, let alone won it. And last year, I think maybe that was his chance. And then they go into New England and absolutely lay a goose egg in the divisional round, which was it's so tough. You hate to see it. And then maybe it's like this year, it's like, okay, maybe we still got a chance to make something happen. And it just hasn't worked out for them so far. And they've been obviously probably the most disappointing team in football, I'd say.
They have.
And I think, yeah, I mean, and I think Rivers he's done with it. Like, he's like, this is just not working with, the coaching. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but my guess is at this point, he's like, dang, like, it's just, we were so close, and now it's like we're all the way back at the bottom again, it seems like. That's got to be so disappointing. Packers are riding high. Chargers are the opposite of that. Packers win this game. Feel bad for the Chargers, but yeah, Packers win this game. It's similar score to what you said. I'd say it's like probably 30-17 or something like that. But yeah, they get the win.
Yeah, very true. And also, I think another reason why the Chargers or the Packers are only a 3.5-point favorite is because the Chargers. I don't know if you mentioned this, you might have, but they just fired their offensive coordinator Ken Wisenhunt. So I mean,
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
obviously, and they think he's been the reason why Austin Eckler's been getting most of the reps and not Melvin Gordon. So I think Melvin Gordon will actually have a bigger game this week, a bigger role in this team. And I think he'll have a pretty good game against the Packers team. But overall, I just think the Packers they're not going to drop this game. Like you said, they're riding high, Chargers are riding low. So, not really that much hard to say it. So, Sunday Night Football. We have the Patriots going on the road to play the Baltimore Ravens. This is the Ravens' toughest challenge, Patriots' toughest challenge after 8 straight games. Jeez, thank you. Tired of them playing the Dolphins and the Jets every week. But yeah, man, Patriots finally get a good test, and the Baltimore Ravens, who just beat they just come off a bye, and they beat the brakes off of the Seattle Seahawks, which I was very impressed about that. I'll keep saying that for a couple weeks. Ravens are 10-0 at home in primetime games since 2011. They're playing a Patriots team who is, I think, hold on a second. The Patriots are 3.5-point favorite. So who do you have this game, Glenn Hill?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's tough, because the Patriots, every now and then they'll drop a regular season game. Doesn't, I mean, they're not good. If this were the playoffs and these two teams were playing, like, I'd be 100% Patriots, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's regular season, you never know. sometimes they'll lose a game and maybe teams will, maybe I think this happened actually earlier. The Patriots lost to the Ravens maybe 5 years ago in the regular season, and everyone was high on the Ravens, and the two met again in the playoffs in like the divisional round or something. And the Patriots came back and beat them by a good amount, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Patriots are playing so well right now. I I don't. I think. What's his name? Mark Ingram. I think he could play a big role in this game for the Ravens. Just their running as a whole. Lamar Jackson's been running the ball right now. Right now, I think this team is so well coached. I think John Harbaugh or wait, is it? It's wait. Is Jim Harbaugh? No, it's John Harbaugh. The Ravens is
It's
John
John
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think John Harbaugh. Yeah, I think John Harbaugh as a whole. I think he might be like one of the more underrated coaches in all of football. Just if I think he's won a Super Bowl. It seems like the Ravens have kind of always been there. And then they bring in Lamar Jackson. He's tailored this offense to him. Made him feel comfortable, and so they've been running the ball well lately. I think Ingram has a big game. Ravens stay in it. I think it's a really close game. Really looking forward to watching this one. Both defenses are pretty good. Ravens always seem to have a good defense. And then the Patriots, everyone's talking about the Patriots defense this year, and for good reason. They're playing so well right now. Gosh. I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots. 23-20. They can get it done. They figure out how to win. I had to go with them.
All right.
And that's more gut feeling than anything.
Yeah. Shoot. I want to, bro. I want to so bad. I really do want to pick the Ravens, especially because I could so see it happening, and I really do hope that the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens just completely shut them down. Tom Brady has a bad game, and they just completely obliterate the Patriots. But the Patriots defense is so good, man, and I could see Bill Belichick just making the adjustments at the right time to stop the Baltimore Ravens. And until the Patriots show me otherwise, I can't pick against them. I know this is their biggest test, but I feel like they're still going to find a way to somehow win this game. Tom Brady's been playing not good at all, really, but the defense has been out of its mind. And, if this was in New England, no doubt I'd pick the Patriots pretty easily. But it's in Baltimore. I can't afford to have another bad week, especially falling behind in picks now, especially after picking some upsets that didn't go my way. I'm just going to go ahead and pick the favorite again, and New England is a safer pick, so I'm going to take New England. They're 3.5-point favorite. I say the Ravens cover it barely, and the Patriots win by 2 points. I'd say they'll win they'll win. Let's see, what's a good score for this game? I'll say,
I don't know. I said 23-20, but
okay, I'll say 28-26. That's a good score. It's a more natural score. All right, and that brings us to the last game, Monday Night Football. Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. Dallas is a 7.5-point favorite. Dallas coming off the bye. They just got Michael Bennett to the defense, which helps their defensive, depth. With not playing too well as they could be. So, Dallas 8-1 versus NFC East since 2018, 6-8 versus all other teams, which is, kind of something there. Dak Prescott, I think, is 16-5 against NFC East teams, which is insane. He always gets the better of them. Last time the Cowboys played the Giants, they blew them out completely. This game will probably be most likely closer, given the situation. They have Daniel Jones, and the Cowboys have been kind of up and down. But I really do think they needed this bye week to get everybody healthy. And there's really not much more to say here. I think the Cowboys win this one in a more I think the Cowboys will put up 30 on them. I really do. But I think the Giants will put up more of a fight. So I have this one being a more entertaining game in MetLife Stadium. They had an entertaining game last time in MetLife Stadium, but I have the Cowboys winning overall, uh, 30 to 24. I think they'll win by 6. Giants will cover the spread barely. Um, and yeah, I feel like the Cowboys will be, take the front march in that division. Just being always one game ahead of the Eagles. And they needed that bye week to get key guys healthy, which is really good. They'll mix in the run game. Ezekiel Elliott is due for a big game this week. I really hope he does get it. And actually, fun fact about Ezekiel Elliott is he has the most 100-yard rushing games since 2016. He's done it for 23 games, which is really good. The next most is Jordan Howard, 14, Todd Gurley with 12, and LaShawn McCoy with 12. So that, he has the most 100-yard rushing games since he's been in the league by a long shot. So that just tells you that he's a consistent running back,
Yep.
and when he's going, he's going. So I think he'll have another 100-yard game, and this will be a big win for the Cowboys. I like him in this game, 30-24. Who you got?
Yeah, I gotta pick. I think we picked the same team each game, didn't we?
I don't think we've had any changes. I mean, kind of a boring, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Cowboys. Even on the road, I yeah, I just think they're gonna get it done. I just yeah, you said it all. 27-23. They played very well against the Eagles, and now they had a bye week to prepare an extra week. I think it's tough because you don't want to see them kind of be in this kind of middle ground where they're just okay. Maybe I think they get into the playoffs. I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to get into the playoffs. As for what's going to happen when they get into the playoffs, I have no clue at this point. I don't see them reaching a Super Bowl. They definitely won't win a Super Bowl. And yeah, I don't know, but and at that point, are you gonna fire Jason Garrett if he doesn't make the conference championship? I think you do.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. You have to make. I mean, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, what's interesting is if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're the, maybe the biggest franchise outside of the New York Yankees in all of sports. Maybe even bigger than them. Football is the most popular sport in the country. You're the biggest franchise. You're America's team. You can't have an average coach. You just can't. I mean, you need to have a coach you need to have a badass coach. You need to have a coach who is almost just, it's like a coach who is like giving crap to his players, to the media after games. A guy like Jim Johnson or Bill Belichick, someone like that. You need a badass who's in there at head coach, and they just don't have that right now. And honestly, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Dak Prescott's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I really don't. I don't see him ever winning a Super Bowl.
Even with the good coaching stuff?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's so limited. Like, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl as a limited quarterback. I think you need to have more talent, but I don't know.
I told people this. I can't give up on Dak until I see him under another coaching staff. I know, like,
maybe, yeah. Like, you can't. I mean, the Cowboys aren't going to give up on him, even if they get rid of Jason Garrett. He's still going to be their quarterback of the future. So we'll see. We're probably going to get to see him under a new coaching staff at some point. And yeah, at that point we'll see. But that's my get. That's my take. I guess I don't see him being a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, he's good. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other, discussions we can go with that route, but I mean, you never know what happens until it actually happens. I've always been a big Dak believer. Everyone knows that here. Even when people gave up on him, I've always been here. I think he's talented. Especially we've seen flaws with Kellen Moore. I mean, I know this year, even some games he's been like Dak, like come on Dak, but it's like, when Jason Garrett, it seems like every time Jason Garrett is calling the plays, he's limiting Dak right there as it is. So, um, you know,
Could be. Yeah. It could be. Yeah.
I think
I agree.
honestly, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's on the level of like a top 10 quarterback, a top 5 quarterback. Um, I
Yeah.
don't think he's that. And I don't think he'll ever be that guy because he just isn't, like, naturally, he's not that talented. Um, but
Nope.
I think he's an average at best quarterback, which, he is. And I don't think he deserves as much hate, but it's obviously because he's on the Cowboys. But
Yep.
um, he's not that bad. And I think for right now, obviously he's enough. So I think, with a good, he needs people around him. There's no doubt about that. But I think with those people around him and the right coaching staff, he can do it. I've seen worse quarterbacks win a Super Bowl. I have. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So, but we'll leave it
Yeah.
at that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Kind of short, quiet this tonight. Sorry about that. But we'll see you guys next week when we're back full with the squad. And, yeah, we'll see you for picks. So, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Sounds good.